The sword has to be more than a simple weapon. It has to be an answer to life's questions. Miyamoto Musashi.
Welcome, humble adventurers, to my realm of knowledge and mystery. Here, in my cursed library, are endless tomes and scrolls on the darkest and evilest foes in all the realms. Be they from Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, the many worlds of darkness, or any realm in between. Welcome to the Dastardly Decimal System. I'm your caretaker of the corrupt, the librarian, Castor Cain. And supervising as always is Vega the cat.
The sword is a treasured weapon. It is an iconic one. We idolize a sword. We create myths around it. And regardless of the realm, history is littered with mystical swords from various wars. Now there are some who adore swords and who study them. And then there are some who are obsessed with them. For today's topic, I have brewed a pot of Underdark and Chill tea. This classic black tea with oil of bergamot, lavender petals, and vanilla will strike a chord with any and all of Loth's devotees. Take a seat, have a cup, and join Vega and I as we talk about the sword wing known as the Sword Collector. Swordwings are a humanoid insect race. They stand a head and shoulders above most elves, have razor-sharp wings that look like those of a dragonfly. They have a blue-tinged exoskeleton, mandibles, and a long, sharp tail. They have two arms, one which ends in a hand with long, sharp claws, and the other that forms a scimitar-shaped bony blade. It speaks only in deep speech, and does so in a buzzing voice. The Collector is an elite foe. It will face an entire party using its own blades, its boulette, and his dancing sword. Just as it's about to ambush its foes, like literally mid-jump and slash, it yells out a challenge as if there is some aberrant honor in its twisted mind that requires it to do so. He uses his speed and flight to assault his foes, overwhelming them in the process. He attacks with either a flurry of slashes or in a flyby attack. When attacked by a nearby foe, the Collector can teleport across the cavern and attack his foes from behind. Alaventa, the uniquely powerful dancing sword, will attack alongside the Collector. The Collector's connection with Alaventa is uniquely strong. If the sword is stunned or weakened by a grapple or by the magic of a powerful mage, the Collector can snap it back into action with just a click of its mandibles. For those who dare to delve into the Underdark, for those who dare to challenge the many threats and monsters that lie beneath, they will find numerous horrors. Some are monstrous and murderous, like deep dragons and cloakers. Some are tiny and terrifying, like intellect devourers and gazers. Others are creatures simply built to cause pain and misery. The Swordwing falls into the latter category. These humanoid insects came from the far realm. When they arrived in the material plane, they burrowed deep underground, entered the Underdark, and built hives in the most inaccessible places. As a species, they are one of the more evil, violent, and powerful that dwell underground. Swordwings are a uniquely obsessive species. Each individual swordwing has a collection that they are insanely possessive about. If one item from their collection is missing, they can become extremely agitated and ferociously violent. Legends even say that their arm blade becomes sharper when they do. Most swordwings only collect randomly related objects, ranging from the mundane to the macabre, but the highest in their hives, the crown wings, will only collect items from a single category, like books, jewelry, rings, paintings, and even preserved hearts. Then they use their collection to vie for power within their caste. As with everything, there is always an exception to the rule, and for the swordwings, there is the sword collector. Long, long ago, a young swordwing, barely a cutter, discovered a fissure in the wall of its hive. He peered out and saw a world beyond his hive, beyond anything he had ever seen before. This swordwing was a curious sort, at a level beyond most of his kin, and wondered what the world was like beyond the hive, beyond the borders of the world, the only home he had ever known. His kind were known to be an obsessive species. So despite his attempts to ignore the fissure, and the curiosities beyond it, he just couldn't shake the image from his mind. What was out there? What could he find? What could he collect? He ignored it until he no longer could, and one day he set off into the Underdark. He spent his early life learning to survive this dangerous world, facing creatures he had never seen before. Yet as he grew, his treasure hunting complex grew with him. It began as a desire, a hunger within him, growing and growing until it needed to be fed. This swordwing needed to start its own collection. One day, after ambushing a drow warrior, it was searching through the slain foe's possessions. It came across an adamantine rapier. It had a platinum hilt shaped like a spider with a pair of glistening rubies to act as eyes. The swordwing was instantly enthralled by the weapon and wanted more. Over the years, the swordwing would patrol the Underdark, attacking caravan, raiding parties, and even attacking adventurers, taking their blades as the rewards for his success. The more elaborate the blade, the better. It was from such an adventurer that he found Alaventa, the dancing sword. Word began to spread across the Underdark. Scholars and delvers alike spoke of the swordwing with the floating blade, the one that would kill anybody to take their weapon. He was known as the Sword Collector, and he was to be feared. In the lowest levels of the deeps, the collector found a lair that would make a perfect home for his collection. The chamber, lit by glowing mushrooms, had slimy walls and a floor littered with poisonous fungi. In the center of the chamber was a pool of blue liquid. It pulsed with a strange light and quivered with oily ripples. This blue liquid was tainted with far realm magic. For any who entered it, their skin would burn with acid and poison. The collector, however, was immune to this. Perhaps because he was a far realm being himself, or perhaps he had somehow attuned to its magic. But seeing how nobody but him could enter the pool, it made it the perfect place to store his swords. The collector placed many swords within it, including an aberrant-made, black-hilt mithril dagger laced with gold, a dwarven greatsword with a large astral diamond in the center, a flaming sword, a life drinker sword, a dragon slayer greatsword, a sword of submission, a sword of defense, a giant slayer's blade, and even a luck blade. On the cavern ceiling, looking down at the pool, the collector built a nesting spire. This allowed him to look down on his collection, keeping an eye on it as he slept. This was the lair of the sword collector, and the wisest of them all knew to stay away. Unbeknownst to the collector, at least initially, any sword placed within the pool was perfectly preserved, but any magical weapon also found its arcane power slowly being drained from it. Due to his connection to the liquid, the collector was able to draw that magic toward him, powering him, his swords, and even using the magic to control ferocious monsters that he then dominated to act as his guardians. An ancient Bal Henoth, a deep boulette, and 3 elder hook horrors patrolled the cavern, magically subservient to the collector and his wishes. Now, while word has reached the most daring of the sword collector's lair, few have tried to rob it, but none have succeeded. Those who enter his lair would first have to face the hook horrors and the Bal Henoth. If they survived those monsters, the collector would reveal itself, buzz a challenge, and attack with ferocious anger. It would attack alongside the boulette and Alaventa. The boulette would strike up from beneath the ground, catching most by surprise, before targeting the tanks. Alaventa would strike at the range attackers, while the collector would use its flyby attack to target obvious healers and damage dealers. All the while, using his pheromones to instruct the poisonous fungi to fill the room with deadly spores. Spores he was immune to. If the collector was to fall, the greedy attackers would still be forced to find a way to grab the blades deep within the pool of skin-burning liquid, making every aspect of this trip, even the looting the room aspect, perilous. The sword collector is a dangerous opponent. Aside from its natural brutality, its uniquely obsessive trait that his species shares increases that danger tenfold. I have seen obsessive collectors before. People who will sacrifice or attack whatever they need to in order to protect and grow their collection. I've seen collectors get violent when a single coin has been removed. And I've seen murders committed just to get that rare missing item. Someone who is so obsessed with his collections can be a dark and dangerous foe. And if I'm being honest, they're not to be trusted. What? No. I am nothing like the sword collector. What do you mean, my books? There's nothing wrong with me collecting books. It's work. No, don't you dare pee on my books. Get back here! It seems that our tea has run out. I hope this aids in your Underdark adventures. Get away from there! Join me again in my library for more stories and lore about the darkest villains from the darkest realms. This has been the Dastardly Decimal System. And once again, I am your librarian, Castor Cain, and with me always is Vega. Get back here! Do you know how long it took me to get those Rachel Reed books? I've never seen a hockey game, but if this book is to believe, it's not for kids. No, get back here! Vega!
Do you love the Dastardly Decimal System and want to support us? Check out our new Patreon. Members will get access to show notes, official artwork, our new bonus episode series called Cleaning Up After Tea Time, and of course, plenty of cat pics of Vega voice actors Vash and Zid. You'll even be able to suggest a topic for a future episode. Check it out at patreon.com/Dastardly Decimal System. If you are not financially able and still want to support us, suggest the show to a D&D loving friend. It really helps us get noticed. The Dastardly Decimal System can be found on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and BlueSky at DD System Podcast. That's Delta Delta System Podcast. Drop us a message and say hi. Vega always loves the attention. This podcast was produced by Midnight Reading Audio, a division of Midnight Reading Publishing. The voice of Castor Cain is Larry Gent. The voice of Vega is provided by my cats, Vash and Zid.
The Sword Collector appeared in Dungeon Magazine, issue 204, July 2012. The author was Michael E. Shea.
Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.